defending the free market, and making the moral case for capitalism. The Justin Moore Show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Justin Moore Show, where we make sense of what's going on in this crazy, insane, out of control world. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, you know what? In this last week, there's been a lot going on. I have so many stories I could tell. I really am not sure which direction I should go on today's show. I mean, I flew to Denver and flew back, and basically I started a new part-time job. I'll talk to you guys about that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that next week's show. There's just too much I have to say here. And actually, every year around this area, actually it's in Red Lodge, Montana. Actually, have you guys read Doug Casey's new book called Speculator with John Hunt, his co-author? Yeah, the main character in the book is from Red Lodge, Montana. And that is where I was at this last weekend. There's a winter carnival that takes place there every year, and basically it's also called like the Cardboard Classic. That's one part of it. It's the race where there's these different teams. You have to pay to put a team into the race, and there's a theme. This year's theme was Under the Sea, and so a bunch of people had to build sleds that went along with that theme. And so I was kind of an addition to my brother's team, which is a bunch of engineers, and they built a beautiful sled. Let me tell you, even Donald Trump would be impressed. This thing was the Yellow Submarine. I got pictures up on Facebook, and we were all dressed in costume. It was awesome. We were going, obviously, Yellow Submarine, so we went as the Beatles, and I was John Lennon. I had the little glasses and everything, had the long hair wig, and actually a lot of people, people in my family, they couldn't recognize me. My uncle, because there was a bunch of us all together. He had saw me, and he didn't know it was me until hours and hours later. He's like, "Oh, that's you?" Because, yeah. And then, when I was going down the hill with my sister's boyfriend, we were just going down on a piece of cardboard, and which was the bottom of that sled, because we were just, just to kind of screw around. And I had taken off my costume. All I had on was the long hair wig. And my dad was wondering who the heck that was going down the hill. He didn't know it was me. So I was in pretty good disguise. But no, this carnival, it was so fun. And the pictures on Facebook show we were the Sgt. Pepper's uniforms, and we were all a different color. It was sweet. A bunch of people taking pictures of us, and there's a bunch of videos. Actually, the Red Lodge Mountain, which is the ski resort, they posted a video kind of compiling everything that went on in that day. And you can check that out, and I'm seeing several times throughout that video. So it was just a really fun day. We did not win going down the hill. We ended up taking third in that, but we did win the costume contest. But what was such a great idea, though, was that one of the guys on the team, Alex, he put a 360-degree camera. He mounted it on the sled. So all of what happened during that race was captured on this camera. It is so awesome. I actually went on, if you guys go and join me on the Facebook page, Justin Moore Show, you can watch the video. I posted the link there. Just click on it and, watch it the first time, just going down the hill normally. It is so funny. You see these little guys. It is. I was laughing so hard. I first watched it when I was at the airport trying to get back to Billings. And you just see this stupid little yellow sled they have little paddles and they're hauling butt and they end up wrecking. And at the very end of the video, the Yellow Submarine, there's these four people that were not paying attention. And at the last second, they all take off and scatter like they're bugs or something. And one of them gets ran over. It's so funny. But after you watch it the first time, I want you to watch the video again and then take your little finger, if you have a touch screen you're watching it on, or if you're watching on a computer without a touch screen, you can take your mouse and you can drag the video. I mean, you can look, obviously, 360 degrees. So now watch the video looking directly behind you, and you can see the giant cluster F that's taking place. It is just so funny. I'm so glad that they thought of the idea of the camera, because that was just great, just getting that perspective. And those things haul butt, those sleds. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised that hill was steeper than I thought. I thought it was going to be on the little Kitty Bunny Hill is where they would host this event, but no, it's you're going over 35 miles an hour at some points. And I think last year at this event, someone broke a leg. I mean, so you can get some of these sleds, they can be going over 40 miles an hour, So you're not screwing around at this point. But anyway, guys, so please check out that video. I think you'll get a kick out of it. And now moving off to something that's not so fun and exciting and goofy. When what was that, 2 episodes ago, I did the episode talking about, the Indian reservations and the Paul Mushaven being suspended from the radio and that sort of thing. Well, surprise, surprise, I've gotten some pushback from that. People do not like what I had to say. And I specifically said on the title of the episode, it's why I did it. I'm like, if you're a snowflake or if you're easily offended, do not listen to the show. But guess what? People don't listen. It's like, I want to see what this is about. People, they always want to do something. When someone tells you not to do something, you do it. Like, for instance, when I was a kid, I don't know, I was probably 10 years old. My dad told me we were by this electric fence. He had to go away for a minute. He's like, Justin, don't touch this fence. It's hot. You're going to get zapped. You're going to get hurt. Don't do it. I'll be right back. Well, Dad disappears. I kind of look both ways like I'm crossing the road, making sure no one's watching me. I reach over and I touch the fence. And when Dad got back, I was bawling my eyes out. So I guess that's kind of a technique people can use too. Don't do this. Wink, wink, wink and a nod. But yeah, so there's a lot of people that are not impressed with what I had to say. They took what I had to say out of context. And like this one lady, I'm not even going to say her name. I'll just call her E. He's like, he's rambling. He's rambling how natives get free money from the government. And at one point poses the question, how do we even have worth? He says this based on his observation of Native Americans. I wasn't saying that. I was talking about people in general. Like if you aren't doing anything, or I've personally know some examples of people who have lived off the government. And those people have been destroyed because, seriously, where do you have your worth if you're not doing anything, right? So that's all I'm saying is that you get your worth from, basically living a life by your values, doing things that make you feel good, doing things for other people, right? And that's just a general thing. And you look at the Indian reservations in general. No, this is just, how you have all the different stereotypes, right? Well, the stereotype with, kind of what's going on the Indian reservations, there's a lot of alcoholism. Unfortunately, for the large part, that is true. Now, does that mean on every single reservation that's true? No, but there are some that are worse than others, just like anything else. But that's an unfortunate reality of what's witnessed. And if people want to say, oh, no, this isn't happening, just look at it. I want to get to the bottom of this. I don't want anyone to get destroyed. I don't want anyone to have a lousy life. But what really is it? And that's what I was pointing out, how it's a lack of capitalism, a lack of property rights. That's what you need. And that's what's not on Indian reservations. And on top of it, it's the federal government still keep having its little hands in these Indian reservations where they can't take complete control of their lives because it's the federal government. Let's separate it. Okay, if we want the Indian reservations to basically be a separate country within the United States, well then let them. There shouldn't be a Bureau of Indian Affairs and all this negotiating and all that sort of crap. What the hell's going on with that? So, hey, look, the Native Americans that are attacking me, hello, I'm on your side. But I think the way we want to get to solving these problems is a little bit different because it's true. A lot of Native Americans on these reservations, they see capitalism as a bad word. And so if they hear me talk about, praising capitalism, Justin, oh my gosh, look at this guy. Oh, it's socialism. That's the answer. It's all about the community. No, that's proven time and time again where it hasn't worked. Go back, look at history. Look at and also what also destroys, it actually tied in with this is the inflation that's built into the system. When we've gone away from a gold standard, that's gotten us away from capitalism, right? And as a currency collapses, as inflation ramps up, there's less and less capitalism because instead of people trying to focus on, saving their money, maybe investing it, there's none of that that's taking place. You're not going to invest your money when you're just trying to survive. You're trying to hold on, that the value of the currency is just going to be more and more worthless. Like you're just trying to get rid of it and turn it into goods So you're not trying to produce anything. You're not focusing on producing. All you're doing is you're focusing on consuming, which only gets you so far. All we have to do is look at what's going on in Venezuela. Look at those guys eating flamingos and anteaters and cats and dogs. Do you think those guys are talking about and praising socialism? Do you think they're focusing on trying to put their kids through college? No! Those guys are just trying to survive. And this is the place where we're headed here in the United States of America. Oh, it can't happen here. No. No, we're the reserve currency of the world. No, you guys are fearmongers. No, the dollar will never collapse. Well, that is where we're headed. All the policies that I've been against all along, and the Federal Reserve keeping interest rates near zero and are still near zero, this is all creating a massive bubble that is going to burst. And these people who embrace socialism, guess what? You guys, good luck. Good luck. Because you're going to be blindsided by what's coming our way. And so there was that lady who went after me. Then there's this guy. We're not going to call him his name either because they don't deserve that sort of attention. So we're going to call him T. Okay? And this is what he said. Get this. Hopefully this isn't your job. Listen to one episode. Unbearable. So here's this guy offering some very polite, this guy's kind of being a tool here. And I had to reply back to this guy. I decided. The other girl I just ignored. It's like, whatever. I'm not going to respond to every little thing. I don't have time for that. I have way too much stuff going on. I can't do it. And actually, I first need to apologize to there's been some people who, want to have interviews with me, and I said yes, but I haven't got around to, trying to figure out a time that works. I'm serious. There's been so much crazy stuff going on. It's when things slow down, if you guys still want to do the interviews, let me know, and we'll work something out. But anyway, so with this guy that said, as I said, hopefully this isn't your job. Listen to one episode, unbearable. Okay. So I replied back. This is what I said to this guy. Fortunately for you, it's not. I'm not Sherlock Holmes here, but I'm guessing the one episode you listened to was the curse that is the PC, police, and government welfare. If you're a snowflake or easily offended, don't listen to this episode. Okay. Well, it turns out I was right. That was the one episode this guy listened to. Surprise, surprise. And this guy happened to be Native American. And so, of course, just like that last lady, they're taking things out of context, thinking that I have something against them. Like, what are you guys talking about? So it's amazing that people, regardless of what you say, people want to read into it what they choose to. People want to put themselves as victims. It happens time and time again. That's so annoying to me. Is that people that do that, don't ever make yourself a victim. You've already lost at that point. Oh, I can't help myself because of this. Oh, because the government is so big, I can't do this. You can figure it out. It's going to make it harder. The government's gotten bigger. It's destroyed a lot of opportunities that could be there if the government wasn't so big. All the people the government's trying to help, obviously, yes, it hurts them. But those same people that are getting hurt by the government, the most are the ones who are asking for the government to help them too. So, sometimes some people get what they deserve. But then there's a lot of us who don't ask for it and get destroyed anyway. But we can get through this. And that's why, at this point in time, this point in history, it's so crucial that we try to convince as many people as we can to the libertarian point of view, because we're coming to that crossroads where people are going to decide socialism, capitalism. We're going to swing. Right now, it's like in between. We elected Obama 8 years ago, right? And it's like, okay, we swung way left. And it's like, oh yeah, the Democrats are happy. The Republicans and conservatives felt sick to their stomach. Obama got reelected. The day after the election, a lot of conservatives felt like the feeling like when someone just died, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. We're so screwed. Take America back, this and that. And now we move to 2016. Donald Trump was elected, somehow beat Hillary Clinton. A lot of people were surprised. Liberals are still mad about it. And so now we have the Republicans and conservatives that are happy as hell. Even some of them, you're scratching your head. You're like, wait a minute. The Democrats were supporting this when Obama was in office, and now the Republicans are? The point I was making on last week's show, talking about how what was once Obamacare is now becoming Trump care. They're basically supporting Obamacare with just little tiny tweaks here and there, is all they're doing. You got Paul Ryan. Oh, yes, Paul Ryan. Oh, remember when they had those healthcare summits or whatever it was? We had Paul Ryan and Eric Cantor and John Boehner. These guys sounded like they were so conservative. Oh, yeah, we want a free market in healthcare. That's what we need. We need to get the government out of it. The government is the problem. Well, now, Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House. The Republicans control the House, the Senate, and now the presidency. And what do they do when they're in power? They act like Democrats. This is what I've been saying all along on the show, that it doesn't matter about the parties. They're both going to grow the size of government, and that is what's happening. So it's just disgusting watching all this. And I can't remember when I was going down this little rabbit hole here. I was going somewhere with this, I swear. But it's just a giant cluster of what's going on, and all these problems that people thought, oh yeah, this is what I was getting to. So we saw the pendulum swing way left with Obama. And then now with Donald Trump, it's swung way right. Well, like out of this world right. Like actually it's kind of confusing. Where is Trump on this pendulum, right? Because it's very, very complicated because Trump is not a conservative, obviously. But he is doing a lot of conservative things. And so with Donald Trump, the question is, why is he doing these things? I mean, he is sticking to a lot of his campaign promises. Well, I think with Donald Trump, what he's doing, he's building up goodwill. You got to show people, and you need people on your side, right? And so if you can, it's like offering someone a drink first. Like say if you're trying to buy someone something, you go into these car dealerships, before you're going to sit down and negotiate, they offer you these nice freshly baked cookies. They got some cans of pop in there, some water. No, they don't have any beer. Because they don't want you getting drunk and, hey, let's go for a test drive, boys. No, they don't want that. But no, it's part of the, sales technique, I guess, or when you're trying to basically get your way with things, you got to build up that goodwill, and you got to sweet talk someone a little bit. And then after that, then you can get into maybe what the things you really do care about, things you really want to go after. Or if you do need people on something, you can have them there. You want to build that loyalty. And Trump is all about loyalty. He wants the people close to him to be very, very loyal. That's like one of his crucial things. And, well, you look back in history, loyalty and power, well, let's not go any farther there. But you guys kind of know where I'm going with that. So it's just interesting watching all this unfold. And so that's what I think it's really about. It's just building up goodwill. It's not that Trump is a conservative. But, however, I think how the left has just been attacking Trump, that also has made him a little bit more conservative than he is, just because now he's this team, he's the Trump team, the Republican team, going up against these guys who are pissing him off. It's like with anybody that pisses Trump off, you poke this bear, he's going to go after you, and that's what he's doing. So it's a mixture of those things, I think, and so I don't know. So I think this solid conservative that a lot of people think that Trump's going to be, and you never Trumpers are way wrong. I wouldn't get so cocky yet, because I think this can easily turn the other way. So be careful. Now, and also I found this, speaking of Donald Trump, I was talking a few episodes ago about how Donald Trump and Arnold Schwarzenegger were tweeting back and forth. Trump is pointing out to Arnold, man, look at your ratings suck on The Apprentice. Man, when I had The Apprentice, I had the most amazing ratings ever. But Arnold, you suck. And then Arnold's tweeting back, oh yeah, you should focus on doing stuff right for the country, like you care about your ratings for TV, this and that. Well, now, this was, I believe it was March 4th. We had Trump at 6:19 a.m. This is what he said. Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't voluntarily leaving The Apprentice. He was fired by his badly pathetic ratings. Not by me. Sad end to great show. Okay. So after Trump tweeted that out, Arnold Schwarzenegger replied back, at 6:57, so not much later. And he replies back, you should think about hiring a new joke writer and a fact checker. Okay, so there's Arnold. So here are these guys still going back and forth. Now it sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger, recent news, he might run for the Senate. I guess we'll keep you updated on that. But I don't know. I mean, Arnold, he's got a score to settle with O'Donnell. I thought these guys used to be friends, or I don't know. But obviously they're not friends anymore if they were. Arnold Schwarzenegger was dropped from The Apprentice. Apparently, I still have those things on the DVR. I haven't watched any episodes with Arnold yet. So I want to see how he is. I mean, I'm sure he's really robotic like the Terminator. So I'll make sure to check that out and see how that is. because as I told you guys before, when Trump was doing The Apprentice, I've watched it ever since the very first season. It's not like I just binge watched, a bunch of episodes. Like I watched them, as they're on TV and so forth. And then obviously, let me just end the episode here talking about a Bloomberg article, just talking about the jobs numbers that were just released for February. And coming from Bloomberg here, this is where I'm kind of referring to a lot of these numbers and some of these quotes here. So this was the very first jobs number released of the Trump presidency. And the jobs numbers were at 235,000 jobs were created. Experts were expecting 200,000, so more than expected. Now, the average job numbers of Obama's last year in office, it was 185,000 jobs a month. So for Trump, it's starting off stronger in terms of the amount of jobs created as opposed to when Obama was in office. Now, of course, with Trump, there's a lot of optimism because he's actually, pro-business as opposed to Obama, but, that can only carry you so far. And then I found this is just great in regards to the jobs numbers. This is coming right from Bloomberg. Get this. He said, and at the very beginning when it says he, they're referring to Donald Trump. He said, to quote him very clearly, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said, Trump had told him, they may have been phony in the past, but it's real now. So what Trump is saying right there, he's referring to the jobs numbers. So back when Donald Trump was running for president, you remember during the campaign, he would talk about, oh yeah, the numbers, unemployment numbers, they're phony, job numbers are phony. Well, now that Trump is president, he's like, they may have been phony in the past, but it's all real now. It's all good. These are all the right numbers. I mean, can you guys believe this stuff? Oh my gosh. And actually here, just proof of what I'm saying here. This is also from Bloomberg at the very bottom of the article here. The release of the jobs data in October 2012, just ahead of Obama's re-election, Trump said, I don't believe the number, and neither do any of the other people that have intelligence. Okay, so yeah, there's Trump. He only believes the numbers. When the numbers are good, he believes them. Like his poll numbers, yep, those are the right polls. Those are the ones to pay attention to. But those polls that go against you, that are those statistics that make you look bad, oh no, you just ignore those ones. Those ones are full of crap. Which in society today anyway, doesn't it seem, you argue with people on Facebook, wherever it is, like facts really don't matter much anymore. It's just so much about emotion, right? And actually when I was at the airport, maybe I should save this for later. Basically it was this guy. We were talking for a while. I need to look this guy. He gave me his card, and yeah, we were talking probably, I don't know, hour and a half. But apparently on ESPN, they did a documentary on his life. I don't know the story well, just from what he was telling me. He was a guy who was caught up in drugs. I mean, he was on all the drugs, heroin, cocaine, you name it. He ended up going to prison. He was in prison for like 8 years. And he got out of prison. He wanted to turn his life around. He got sober, didn't do any drugs. And he ended up, at the age of 37, he went and competed in collegiate wrestling. And he ended up winning the national championship. And ESPN, yeah, they did a documentary on his life. In his little backpack at the airport, he showed me. It was his Emmy. And, he actually won an Emmy for his documentary on his life. So, I mean, a pretty cool guy. Yeah, we exchanged information. Really great guy. And I was just kind of asking him about the war on drugs in general. Like, do you think it helped you? And yeah, he just wasn't much into the politics of it, because he travels around speaking to schools, trying to help kids and all that, not get into drugs in the first place, because he's saying education is the key, is what he's talking about. But, with a lot of this legalization thing, it seems like he agrees. But yeah, he just doesn't like getting caught up in that sort of thing, because that's not, I mean, it makes sense. We all have different roles, and, some of us want to get a little bit more political, and others of us, it's more about, if you have an amazing story, using that story to try to change kids' lives for the better and not get started in that, go down that nasty road of using drugs, that sort of thing. So yeah, we had a great conversation talking about all sorts of things. When I look up that guy's story, his name was Richard, I want to say Jensen. But yeah, I'll have to look that up, and I can tell you guys more about it. And after I need to watch that documentary too. And if it's a great documentary, I'll recommend it to you guys. But that's all I have for you guys on today's show. We're kind of all over the place. I mean, we're just trying to tie up loose ends here with previous things we've mentioned on other shows. Sometimes you got to do that. So much crap going on. I mean, seriously, this has been one crazy week. I've got to tell you guys, probably next week's episode, the cluster I had to deal with at the airport. Being delayed, and oh man, it was nasty. It wasn't good. So anyway, guys, if you can go to my website, just go to justinmooreshow.com. More is spelled M-O-H-R. You can listen to old episodes there. And you guys can also, if you can buy your Amazon goods through my website, my little link there, I get a small commission back, costs you nothing extra. Also, join Tom Wood's Liberty Classroom, learn how to become a smarter libertarian, or if you're a conservative, heck, there's things that can relate to you as well. Or just learning about U.S. history in general. You're going up against these clowns on Facebook? Well, man, if you have a good understanding of economics and history, holy smokes, those guys are in for a rude awakening because you are going to take them out. So anyway, guys, I will talk with all you guys next week, and I'm looking forward to it. This is Justin Moore, signing off.